It's the world. I'm in P world. 10 guys who totally overestimated their worth. Hey man, only you know what your worth is, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you worth a milli mil and them boys is trying to hit you with a small deal, tell them niggas how you feel, man. Bro, what is this, a movie?
Welcome back to TPS. Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders said it best. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. But for many professional athletes, just because you play
Is this
good,
new to GPS,
doesn't
bro?
mean you'll be paid good, or at least it doesn't mean you'll be paid as much as you initially thought. Here are 10
He's like,
active
turn right
athletes
on
who overestimated what they're really
61st
worth.
Street.
At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. Number 10, Edwin Encarnacion. The three-time All-Star.
Who the fuck is that?
Instrumental in helping the Toronto Blue Jays reach the ALCS in back-to-back years in 2015 and 16. His walk-off home run in the 2016 AL wildcard game will go down as one of the most iconic moments in the franchise's history.
So why ain't he worth it?
It also marked his last great moment with the Blue Jays. Edwin clubbed 42 homers and 127 RBI in the 2016 season, setting himself up for a nice fat contract in free agency. The usually budget-conscious Jays offered Encarnacion a 4-year contract worth $80 million. But he and his agent turned it down, believing a more lucrative deal was out there. But they clearly misread the market. That year, teams were much more hesitant to throw big dollars around at a pure slugger who couldn't offer much defensively. Edwin waited and waited for a new deal, but nothing came to be. He finally gave up and settled on a 3-year, $60 million offer from the Cleveland Indians, which included a 4-year option for a reported $25 million.
Big bags.
In the long run, he wound up receiving less than what the Blue Jays offered. He lasted 2 seasons in Cleveland before getting traded to the Seattle Mariners, who then sent him to the New York Yankees in the midst of the 2019 season. New York declined his 2020 option, making Edwin a free agent. He settled on a 1-year, $12 million deal with the Chicago White Sox.
Damn.
So he never really got close to receiving the $100 million or whatever it was that his agent expected. The Blue Jays wound up offering him the most money, but Edwin and his agent obviously miscalculated the slugger's market. They simply overestimated his worth. Number 9, Melvin Gordon. Pro Bowl running back Melvin Gordon did one thing before the start of the 2019 season to get paid by the Los Angeles Chargers. Gordon wound up holding out for the first 4 games of the season, reportedly hoping to land a deal that would pay him $13 million.
That's not even a lot for real.
A considerable raise from his $5.6 million annual salary. When Gordon ended his holdout, let's just say that the Chargers quickly learned that they were smart not to pay him. He averages 3.8 yards per carry on 162 rushing attempts, and Gordon...
Yo, I feel like some of the time when, like, a player will hold out for a deal or something like that, and, like, a year later they'll play, and then, like, what he just said, like, the Chargers were happy they didn't wind up giving him 13 mil because the next season he only averaged three yards and shit like that. I feel like when stuff like that happen, it's because the fucking players aren't motivated to play, bro. I mean, if I wanted 13 mil from y'all and y'all are just giving me 5, what am I going to come out there and, you know, bust my ass for, man? Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, but unfortunately, it seems like doing shit like that, and I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe he did fall off, but it feels like when you do shit like that, it doesn't pay off in your way. So you may as well just keep going hard, dog.
Only averaged 51 yards per game. The Chargers wisely let Gordon walk in free agency. As for that desired $13 million per year salary, well, Gordon had to settle on a 2-year, $16 million contract with the Denver Broncos in free agency.
Ain't bad.
Still widely regarded as an overpay. Number 8, Dwight
Worked
Howard.
out.
Despite his status as a franchise star on a championship contending team.
Wait, so how's that an overestimate if he wanted 13 mil and got 16 mil for a 2-year deal? Sounds like a finesse to me.
Howard requested a trade from the Orlando Magic in 2011. In the 2012 offseason, he got his wish. Orlando traded him to the Los Angeles Lakers in a blockbuster deal, aligning D12 with the legendary Kobe Bryant and another future Hall of Famer in Steve Nash. But the Lakers knew Big Three couldn't get chemistry going, and they failed to live up to those sky-high championship expectations. The Lakers finished with a mere 45-37 record, and they were swept out of the first round by the San Antonio Spurs. Led by Kobe's giant pitch, the Lakers then pushed hard to keep Howard long-term. Surprisingly, Kobe's words weren't enough for Howard, who decided to join the Houston Rockets in free agency. After 3 up-and-down years in Houston, Howard signed with the Atlanta Hawks in free agency. Once again working with a major star, in this case, James Harden. He still couldn't find his groove. He wound up bouncing around the league, going from Atlanta to Charlotte to Washington until, wait for it, he ended up right back on the Lakers.
That boy been all around the league.
5 years for Howard. Well, it all paid off in the end.
Got the ring.
With the LeBron James-led and Anthony Davis-led Lakers in 2020. But let's be real here. Howard hasn't been a true franchise game-changing player since he left Orlando, and yet it seemed like he kept thinking he would be that guy if he changed teams. Nope. Davian Clowney. The first overall pick from the 2014 draft chose the wrong time to have a lackluster year.
Clowney's hard.
The Houston Texans traded Clowney, who was entering his contract year, to the Seattle Seahawks ahead of the 2019 season. The 3-time Pro Bowler posted just 3 sacks on the year after recording 18.5 in the previous 2 seasons combined. For whatever reason, Clowney just didn't fit in with Seattle's defense.
I don't know how.
Stop him from seeking a massive payday in 2020 free agency. When the market opened, ESPN's Diana Rossini reported that Clowney was eyeing a deal that would pay him $20 million annually. 2 weeks later, she reported that he dropped his asking price to $17 or $18 million per season. The Seahawks and Cleveland Browns reportedly submitted lucrative offers to Clowney, which he rejected. The man went unsigned through August, perhaps waiting for somebody to bite and give him that $17 million per year. At any rate, the market wasn't as kind to Clowney as he expected, and one September 8th, just before the start of the season,
Texans.
a 1-year, $13 million deal with the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, the Titans. I'm tripping. Yeah.
Is it Jadavian? Number 6, J.D. Martinez. Coming off of an impressive 2017 season split with the Detroit Tigers and Arizona Diamondbacks, All-Star slugger J.D. Martinez was looking for his first monster MLB contract. Let's just say he really aimed for the stars. In the early stages of the 2017 free agency,
$200 million?
it was reported that Martinez was eyeing a
I never even heard of this man.
range. But like Edwin, Martinez is simply a one-dimensional player who doesn't have much to offer defensively. Simply put, Martinez got nowhere close to that $200 million deal.
Fuck no.
He ultimately settled on a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Boston Red Sox.
Hey, shit.
The contract included opt-outs for the 2020,
Hey, fuck it, man. You know me, $110 million, man.
An MVP-like season in 2018 to help the Bo Sox win their 4th World Series.
There's more humans that don't have that than do, so, hey, eat up.
And Martinez obviously didn't feel like he would receive a lucrative payday in free agency. He chose not to opt out of his deal, suiting up for the Red Sox in 2020. So much for $200 million. Number 5, William Nylander. Toronto Maple Leafs forward William Nylander held out and missed the first 2 months of the 2018-19 season, hoping to receive a lucrative long-term extension. In early negotiations, it was reported that Nylander and his agent were seeking over $8 million annually, while Toronto was thinking of something closer to $6 million. The two sides finally struck a deal in early December, a 6-year deal worth $45 million, with an average annual value of approximately $6.962 million. He received $12 million in total salary for the 2018-19 campaign and $9 million in 2019-20. He'll make $6 million in total salary for the rest of the way. But Nylander's lack of production in the postseason has made this a not-so-great deal for the Maple Leafs. At least it didn't give in to his demands of over $8 million annually. He's a very good forward, but not a superstar.
He was damn close, though.
What he ended up getting. Number 4, Kyrie Irving. Financially speaking, maybe Irving doesn't overestimate himself that much. Well, that's what lands him on this list. Irving and LeBron James did great things together with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They guided this team to 3 straight NBA Finals appearances, leading the Cavs to their first ever championship in 2016, dethroning the 7-3 win Golden State Warriors. But after losing in the 2017 Finals, Irving requested a trade from Cleveland because he no longer wanted to be James's sidekick. Rather, Irving wanted to be the focal point elsewhere. So Irving had his request granted, and he was traded to the Boston Celtics.
Didn't go well.
After 2 seasons, Irving decided he was unhappy in Boston. After an awful playoff performance, Irving made it pretty obvious that he wasn't coming back. And so the all-star point guard wound up signing with the Brooklyn Nets in free agency.
Hey, hold on. Keep y'all eyes open. My boy Kyrie coming this fucking season, man. Wake up.
He didn't want to win championships with LeBron. He didn't like
if he can stay healthy.
Being the main guy in Boston. So what exactly does Irving want to be? Besides a player who clearly overvalues himself. Number 3, Dak Prescott. With all due respect to Dak Prescott, who was a top 10 QB in the game, we just think the guy is really overestimating his own value.
I think so too, low-key. I ain't gonna
How
stop.
would you view him as a quarterback? There have been multiple reports about Prescott turning down lucrative extensions for over $100 million. Apparently, he said no to a deal that would have paid him around $33 million annually. Instead of signing a long-term deal ahead of the 2020 season, Prescott decided he'd play it out on the franchise tag. It seems like he's aiming for something closer to $40 million annually, but for a guy with only one playoff win through his first 4 seasons, we feel that's a bit much.
Damn.
Prescott's numbers have been great, but we all know that wins are what matters most when evaluating a quarterback's performances. So until we see some more W's, it'll be hard for the Cowboys to justify giving this guy what he thinks he's worth, even if the offense continues to struggle as he recovers from his season-ending injury. Number 2, LeVeon Bell. Well, this is very easy to explain. From 2014 to 2017, there wasn't a more explosive game-changing running back than LeVeon Bell, and the Pittsburgh Steelers tried to pay him as such. Before the start of the 2018 season, the Steelers worked tirelessly to sign Bell. Their final offer was more than a fair price of $70 million over 5 years. In an era where most teams are not interested in paying up for a running back, the Steelers were more than generous with their offer. But Bell said no and decided not to play at all in 2018, believing he could receive an even more lucrative contract in 2019 free agency. Well, Bell learned the cold hard truth once he hit the market. Nobody was going to come close to what the Steelers had previously offered him. Rather than take the $70 million and stay with an annual Super Bowl contender, Bell had to settle on a 4-year, $52.5 million offer from the laughingstock New York Jets.
But see, the thing about that deal is Le'Veon wanted that guaranteed money, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why that move worked out in favor. But sitting on the fucking Jets, that's tough. But now he's on the Chiefs and in position to get in position to get a ring. So I stamped that as another finesse, yo.
Reports quickly surfaced that head coach Adam Gase was enraged with GM Mike McCagnon for paying that much money for a running back, and McCagnon was fired after the draft. In his first year with the Jets, Bell endured his worst season yet as a pro, averaging just 3.2 yards per carry. He finished with only 789 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Bell should have just taken that money from a more superior Steelers team, but he got greedy and misread the running back market, costing him millions as well as the chance to win a Super Bowl. And number 1, Bryce Harper. Well, before Harper hit the 2018 free agency, there was
he was booming.
About him possibly receiving baseball's first $400 million contract. 2015 NL MVP calmly said, "Don't sell me short," when asked about the possibility of receiving such a deal. But Harper isn't exactly worth that much money, you see. His peers have voted him as the most overrated player in baseball. I mean, yeah, he was a young phenom and all when he broke into the league. But Harper isn't even close to being on the same level as guys like Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and Mookie Betts.
Ooh,
anyway,
shit.
Harper didn't come all that close to the $400 million he apparently thought he was getting. Instead, he settled on a 13-year, $330 million pact from the Philadelphia Phillies, and even that was a
13 years.
What was that whole thing about don't sell me short? What other athletes have overestimated their own worth? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below.
Damn, what y'all think, man? I think a couple of these players finessed their way up out of some shit, man. Got some good money, got some good deals. Landed up on better teams and shit, but who knows, man? Let me know what in the world I should react to next. Until next time, it's the world.